Hey everyone, you're listening to Concentrates with Dr. T, a podcast discussing cannabis science, news, and hot topics. Please listen to the full podcast episode on YouTube and Spotify, and follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I'll leave the handles in the video description below. Today is more of a hot topic. I have an article here from CNBC by Stefan Sykes. Sean Diddy Combs to acquire cannabis businesses for up to $185 million. So obviously this is a very large sum of money. We'll see a little bit about what he's getting in this deal and where this opportunity is coming from in this article. The key points that this article discusses are that Combs is acquiring the cannabis operations from Cresco Labs, Inc. and Columbia Care, Inc., which are divesting the assets as part of their merger. The operations are in New York, Massachusetts, and Illinois, so 3 different states. The deal will create the country's first minority-owned, vertically integrated, multi-state cannabis company, according to a release. So I'm sure that's probably true, so we'll learn more about that as well. So hip-hop mogul and businessman Sean Diddy Combs is venturing into the world of cannabis. Combs has agreed to acquire licensed cannabis operations in New York, Massachusetts, and Illinois from Cresco Labs, Inc. and Columbia Care, Inc. in a deal worth up to $185 million. The transaction marks Combs' first investment in cannabis and will create the country's first minority-owned, vertically integrated, multi-state cannabis company, as well as the world's largest Black-owned cannabis company, according to a release from Combs and the companies. So that's actually some pretty cool news. We talk about, social equity a lot in the cannabis industry. It's a big topic, because it is a new industry that's just starting. So the potential to include people who have been traditionally excluded or even harmed as a result of cannabis is, the opportunity is there. So that's why we talk about it a lot, because in other industries are more established, it's harder to get more minority ownership into those industries. But this is still very early in the cannabis industry in the grand scheme of things. So this is cool that we're getting news of the largest ever minority or Black-owned cannabis company. $185 million is definitely enough to do that. I should have probably looked up Sean Diddy Combs' net worth before this, but that's amazing that he has those resources. So I hope he's getting a good deal with all that money, and I also hope that he has a good plan in place for operating his new facilities, has some good team members on board, and if he's looking for new team members, I know where he could find some very high quality operators. So that being said, we'll get into his facility purchase in just a minute. So the transaction comes after Cresco Labs earlier this year agreed to purchase rival Columbia Care in a $2 billion deal that would make Cresco the top U.S. cannabis producer. So Cresco is buying out Columbia Care. Columbia Care has been a big name in cannabis for a while. Off the top of my head, I know they operate in Florida as well. So Cresco is probably expanding into more states, but it seems like they're dropping off a few states here as well as part of their overall strategy. But $2 billion, that's incredible. It was one of the biggest deals in the cannabis industry and required Cresco to divest assets in limited license markets such as New York. So New York's really just getting started in their adult use markets, and so having the ability to operate there is going to be huge when it really gets flowing and really gets opened up and operating the way, at capacity essentially. But right now, it probably limited revenue is happening, so it's more of a future opportunity. So he's got to kind of hold on there. I'm sure there's revenue in the other states, Massachusetts and Illinois, and so and actually putting $185 million into this, he should have some runway to get going and get his branding out there and really get a lot of business in those states pulled over to him just from name recognition alone. So good for him for capitalizing on that. The deal includes 4 retail stores and 1 production facility in New York State, 3 retail stores and 1 production facility in Massachusetts, and 2 retail stores and 1 production facility in Illinois. So this is actually quite a few facilities, right? We're talking about 4, 5, 8, 9, 11, 12, a full dozen facilities across these states. So you notice that there's more dispensaries than production facilities. So a single production facility can service many dispensaries. So I'm sure I'm sure these production facilities are selling to retail stores beyond just the 3 or 4 that he's getting in each state. But it's really great to have the retail stores as well, because that's where the biggest margin is had. So by producing and then selling, that's what the vertically integrated means. By producing and then selling at the retail stores, he's going to be getting the biggest profits there. So it's great. He should be getting very, very good margins and getting a good return on his investment, hopefully. So $185 million is a lot of money, but we're talking about 12 facilities. So that's something like about $15 million per facility, dispensary included. That's, yeah, I don't know the size of these facilities, particularly these production facilities, but dispensaries usually shouldn't cost, $15 million a piece. So, and that's the bulk of these dispensaries, or of these facilities as dispensaries. So it shouldn't cost, $15 million for each dispensary, but the production facilities may be much more expensive. But that's kind of, to me, that seems like, there's a premium on these facilities. Very well could involve, intellectual property. So it's coming with processes, SOPs, recipes for different edibles, a lot of production equipment. So yeah, just my initial gut reaction thinking about this, it sounds a little bit expensive, but I'm not on the inside, so the fundamentals probably do work out. I'm sure Mr. Combs had a great team to vest these acquisitions and to make sure that he's getting a good deal. So my mission has always been to create opportunities for Black entrepreneurs in industries where we've traditionally been denied access, and this acquisition provides the immediate scale and impact needed to create a more equitable future in cannabis, Combs said in a Friday press release. The assets give Combs the ability to manufacture branded cannabis products and distribute the products to dispensaries in major metropolitan areas like New York City, Boston, and Chicago. Combs will also be able to operate retail stores in the 3 states. So I kind of just mentioned how that all works, but those are certainly very big cities. So even if the marketplaces aren't quite developed now, as cannabis becomes more popular in those areas, and as the regulations kind of ease out and these companies, continue to produce and penetrate further into the marketplace, there's a lot of opportunities, obviously, in these big cities. So he's in very strategic locations. Owning the entire process from growing and manufacturing to marketing, retail, and wholesale distribution is a historic win for the culture that will allow us to empower diverse leaders throughout the ecosystem and be bold advocates for inclusion, Combs added. So that's a great, very great sentiment, very great leadership that he's showing here. We'll see how it all bears out, but he seems well positioned to make sure that diverse people are included in leadership roles and ownership roles. Already, himself being the owner of the largest Black-owned cannabis company in the world, he's accomplished that. But further down the chain, he's got a lot of opportunities to do a lot of good in including people who have been traditionally excluded or even discriminated against. So this is very great news. For Cresco, the transaction is a major step towards closing the Columbia Care acquisition and our leadership position in one of the largest consumer product categories of the future, said Charles Bachtel, CEO of Cresco Labs. I'm not sure if I said his name right at all. But they're certainly making a big move to become a very large presence in this cannabis marketplace already as multi-state operators, which means that each license in each state is an independent company, independent operation with different rules and regulations from each different state. So they can't share all the resources very easily. They can maybe share maybe certain packaging or ingredients, buying ingredients in bulk, things like that. But they have to be distributed through the different facilities in the different states. Whereas, traditionally most companies, they can make one big manufacturing facility, think Coors in Golden, Colorado, and then distribute to the entire country. Well, cannabis doesn't work like that right now. But by being positioned in many states already, if it does become federally legalized and allow for interstate commerce, they're in a good position to be able to consolidate to their bigger operations and then distribute, between the states with lots of locations to choose from. So that's really interesting. And then saying that it's one of the largest consumer products categories of the future. I agree with that. And I think everybody can see it. It's becoming more and more popular, and it's got a lot of buzz around it. And in the future, there will be, there's lots of opportunity to be had to gain a lot of market share still. So Mr. Combs is getting in right at a very good time, and he should be able to, get a very good return on his investment over time. It might not come back to him overnight or in the next couple of years. It'll build up over a number of years, but I would say that in 5-10 years, he'll be extremely happy with this investment. Now, that's all assuming that the facilities he bought are, good facilities and they're operated well. And so I don't know the state of the production facilities, for example, but that's another point I wanted to make, that I hope that Sean Combs has set aside some extra money for updating, modernizing, renovating his production facilities and his dispensaries to really, even if they're in a good state now, there's room for improvement. And when you have a change of ownership, it's a good chance to really update to the state of the art and make sure that you're set up to operate smoothly for many, many years. And to take care of any lingering inefficiencies or safety issues, to install systems that can to really streamline the production processes and set you up for the future. So I hope he has some money set aside to make improvements in not only the dispensaries, but also the production facilities. So I'm sure there will be some branding changes in the dispensaries, but The production facilities, I don't care how good they were before he bought them. Likely they weren't necessarily state of the art, but anyway. But even if they are, there's an opportunity to go through them and make sure that they are really well equipped and put together for maximum work efficiency and worker safety, and just to have the best possibly operating facility that you can have. So Bakhtel added that the industry is in need of greater diversity of leadership and perspective, and that the deal with Combs is incredibly exciting. Yeah, I agree. So that's great to see. The deal adds to Combs' growing portfolio of businesses venture that includes music, fashion, media, and spirits. So he's already into spirits, being alcohol, so it's a recreational substance. This is something he's got some familiarity with, so it's a good acquisition, I think, for him, beyond his own reputation and obviously music career. But having experience already with owning a spirits company or companies, that does give him some good insight and good reference for how the cannabis industry may work. But I would also caution him that the cannabis industry is an entirely different beast. I have been working in the legal cannabis industry for almost 10 years now, and it has undergone a lot of change over that time. It's been incredibly exciting to be along for the ride, but having experience like that is something that he'll want on his side. So I hope he has somebody, and if he doesn't, he should probably reach out to me, and I can direct him towards somebody. But anyway, that's some hot news in the cannabis industry. Sean Diddy Combs buying several production facilities and dispensaries from Cresco Labs and Columbia Care as they merge into a very large, if not, well, definitely one of the world's largest cannabis companies. But then in that process, they had need to offload certain businesses that didn't make sense, I guess, for where they were heading as they merged. So hopefully these are good businesses that are going to give Mr. Combs a return on his investment. We will see. Looks to me like he's well positioned in great marketplaces that will be opening up further very soon. So best of luck to him. And so that's all I have for you today. Thank you for listening to Concentrates with Dr. T, and I will see you all next time.